New York energy. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
This is the Ozone, season 2, we taking flight. New York on lock, every borough ignite. Giants, Jets, Knicks, Yanks, Mets, we the hype. Malik Sauce, Jalen Judge, Lindo, NY Life. MetLife thunder when malignant bars break the rail. Giants running routes, ops fall, we prevail. Sauce Gardner locked down, jet fuel in his stance. MetLife heat beam, Jets defenders advance. MSG vibrate when Jalen Brunson start to cook. Knicks light the garden, ops shook when he looked. Pinstripes roll, Aaron Judge send rockets over Bronx. Bombs drop, Yankees prime, real talk, no cons. City feel glow, Lindo make that leather sing. Met bats knock, Queens dreams gon' always ring. From the bridges to the streets, uptown blackout. Season 2, Ozone, NY Heat, no doubt. This is the Ozone, Season 2. New York, forever drills. Catch the vibe.
You have entered the Ozone with Omar and Dave.
Let's go, baby. We are here. And you guys officially entered the Ozone. It's your boy Omar here. And you know, been a good week. You know what I mean? Well, outside of these football teams stinking it up, had a pretty good week. You know what I mean? It's always great when I'm on the show, you know, because life can be so good. But people in life can be so mean. You know, sometimes people take things too serious in this world. And especially in today's day where people are very tough behind keyboards, people tend to threat people. But you know who I'm not threatening? The best co-host in the business, super producer Dave. Brother, it's a new week. I really mean this when I say this. How you feeling?
You know, brother, you try to just like teach people things and how history can repeat itself if we're not careful, and how certain things shouldn't be censored. Here at the Ozone, we only censor curses, but we don't want to silence the people. And, I put my thoughts out there into social media, and of course, you put out to the internet gives back. And somebody threatened me to go back to Puerto Rico. Go back to Puerto Rico. And, I take real offense to that because I want to go. Send me back. Send me back to Puerto Rico. What do you, like, some people just don't know their own.
I have what given last weekend. Before we get the show started, like what Dave, what super producer Dave said, some idiot, obviously threatened super producer Dave, because Dave expressed his opinion, as he should, as we have our rights, to share our opinions and however we feel, you know what I mean? But the thing is, he said, go back to Puerto Rico. Go back to your country, Puerto Rico. That's like me telling a white man, go back to your country. Oh, I didn't even mean it. My bad. I'm sorry. Oh, damn. I was trying to think of a white state. My bad. I didn't even mean to say. This is why we don't get political on this show. I did not mean to say. I should have said. My bad. I should have said. I should have said. But you know who's being talked about going back home? That's this ass of a football coach. We got coaching the Giants. Let's get into it. This is the Big Blue Breakdown.
All hail the New York Giants! New York Giants!
All right, y'all. This is the Big Blue Breakdown. I'm still not back from the opening monologue, I guess, whatever. But brother, what's not to laugh about is these damn Giants. Look, brother, I'm gonna be honest. I was optimistic about this team, obviously going in. You got the hype, Jaxson Dart. You got Malik Nabers. You got this pass rusher defense that, you know what I mean, I was excited for. We're going to make it really uncomfortable for quarterbacks. We haven't seen that much. We haven't. Now, they have been getting some pressure. I will say this. They have been getting some pressure, but they just haven't been able to get to the quarterback as I would like. Brian Burns is a beast. He is continuing to play well. I got patience. It's only 3 games in, but with Abdul Carter, I'd expect more. Now I don't know if that's more on the coaching. Obviously, the Giants have taken so many hits at the linebacker position that they got him kind of like a hybrid linebacker. But in college he played defensive end. You know what I mean? We don't got him doing that. And right now, the Giants lost another one. They lost, what was it, 22-9 this past Sunday against the Chiefs, which I picked the Giants to win because given, how the Chiefs play, how, their lack of playmaking on the offensive side, I thought we were going to be able to contend with them from our defensive standpoint, which we did. Defensively, I thought the Giants played well. Now, yes, the secondary did make some mistakes. Drew Phillips continues to get cooked. But then again, a lot of people's getting cooked in that secondary for the Giants. But my thing is the offense. And this is a problem. This is a big problem because Russell Wilson, if anything, that game showed how bad the Dallas Cowboys defense is last week, that Russell Wilson gave us the same damn performance that he did in week 1, which was horrendous, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. Brother, I don't know what's going on. Let's look at your drives to start the game. You guys went down and downs, punt, interception, touchdown finally, interception, punt, field goal, and turnover on downs. Brother, that is not productive at all, and this is not what you want to see a week after playing the Cowboys, and you guys look like the best that we've seen the Giants look in quite some time, but like you said, I think that's more of a statement on how bad the Cowboys are in that defense. The fact is that they made him look good. Russell Wilson, we acknowledge everything you've done in the past, and this is why the Giants fans were excited. And you did have moments with the Steelers that we also were like, okay, we see what you're bringing to the table. You could be worse. You could be Aaron Rodgers. What he brought to the Jets. But that's not what you were thinking you were getting. And this is one of those things that is just like, I get the immediacy to want to start Dart because at this point of the season, you have winnable games. You have the chance, and you have the Chiefs reeling. They were not doing great to start the season either. It's not like you're beating the Chiefs from 2 years ago or last year, as a matter of fact.
Right. The problem, go ahead.
Derrick Henry, sorry. Just timeless. But yeah, the Giants definitely, they have to make a change there. And you would think, okay, if you don't want to start Dart right away, right? Fine. You have Jameis Winston. You guys signed 2 veteran quarterbacks. Start Jameis. Let's see what you get out of him. What's the worst that you could do? You guys are 0-3 already.
Look, the problem is this. I don't know. My thing is, are you not trying to keep your job, Brian Daboll, Joe Shane? You know what I mean? And then it's the play calling that's really questionable. You bring in Dart, right, to run an RPO with Scatterable, right? Basically, you run 2 plays, and those plays actually done. They got yardage. There was positive yardage in those plays because Dart is a legit threat to run. So the defense has to at least kind of look at it and go, wait a minute, we just can't fully commit to Scatterable getting the ball. And you notice that it works. So why the hell would you run it then with Russell Wilson? Plays later, and they got no yardage. And the thing is, we caught a break with that. We get down, into the red zone, and my man is tossing the ball into the tunnel. You know what I mean? He saw, okay, this is what we did in Dallas. I'm going to just heave the ball. You know what I mean? And it's not working. He threw the picks, 2 picks. 2 stupid picks that he didn't have to do. And my thing is Dable, what are you doing?
This is
Kafka.
This is your offensive guru, and you guys are what,
right.
1 for 10 on third down, 1 for 3 on the red zone because you didn't get there often, and then you kind of matched them in first downs. The Chiefs only had 22 first downs to your 19, but at the end of the day, you guys are not converting and making that what makes it a game, which is score.
The highlight was Scatterable. Yeah, I think that was the only thing that was.
And you guys made Tyquan Thornton look like Tyreek Hill.
Bro. Yeah, it was because the secondary straight ass. That's why. we titled this show "Out with the Old, In with Dart" because it's this simple. As of this recording, it hasn't been announced that Jaxson Dart is going to start Week 4 against the Chargers. Brian Dable's been asked, and Brian Dable looks like he's going to be leaning towards that direction and starting Dart. He's already doing the, we're going to look at the tape. I don't know what tape you need to look at, my guy. Every single Giant fan and every person who watched the NFL knows that Russell Wilson needs to be benched. You want to salvage anything of this season because you already got some Giant fans, which I do not blame, looking at the draft. We're not even in October, and we're looking at draft positioning. You need to start Dart. You need to ignite something. Now, you hearing that Dart may not even help the situation. Maybe it's just the coaching because you look at a particular guy that's in Indianapolis that's balling right now. And
you
we
have
were told that he was the problem.
Yeah, you were told that he was the problem. Don't get me wrong. Now, equated to the problem, like let's just use last year as an example, right? Because I can't use the example of 2 years ago. But let's use for the example. You have Jonathan Taylor, you have Pittman, who's a several super receiver, and they got a stud in that Ty Warren, I believe his name is, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. But he's balling out too. As of last year, the Giants just had Neighbors. And careful where you throw to Neighbors because I was really scared for Neighbors being out that game. He looked like he was going to be concussed.
Yeah.
You guys definitely wanted Daniel Jones out of there, and we all thought that the problem was Daniel Jones. This should just be an improvement from last year, and we're seeing, if anything, it looks worse.
Look, man, Russell Wilson obviously doesn't, like you said, brother, before, nothing taken away from him. He's a Super Bowl champ, but he's just right now, he's not it. He's just not it. You take away the Dallas game, and this is what we're going to get. This is exactly what we got in Week 1. The defense was good enough. Now, I wish that they hit Mahomes more. Yeah, they pressured him, but a lot of teams are pressuring the Chiefs right now and making Mahomes scramble. But Mahomes just showed why he's Pat Mahomes. He was able to make things work. You know what I mean?
Speaking of people who just make things work, right? Like this is something we have to put out with Dable. Dable gets a lot of credit for how Josh Allen plays. Josh Allen is an MVP without him, right? Josh Allen's still doing Josh Allen things without that coach still there. So does that comes back to, was it the coach or the player? In this place, I think it's the talent. The talent is showing that they were going to be that person regardless of who was the coach at the time. 100%. We gave Nathaniel Hackett a lot of slack because he went to the Denver Broncos and he got a lot of credit for the things that he's done in his past.
Right.
So he got a pass for that, and then we saw he was butt. And then, everybody attacked him. I think at this point we're going to have to look at Dable under another.
Rodgers, right? Hackett was
yes, Rodgers. Rodgers was the case. And Rodgers got him a job, and then I think he got him hired in the Jets.
Gates was what
that's the guy who was singing stuff.
Peyton, my bad. But you're right. Nathaniel Hackett worked with Rodgers, and that's how he got the head coaching job.
And we teared him to shreds. So at this point, don't be surprised if Dable after this job is torn as well, because it's like your credit was, I made Josh Allen, and now we're just seeing, well, you can't do that with any other quarterback. And the guy that you had last year is balling out. They only punted once, and I get it, it's a weird stat or whatever, but the fact is they only punted once in 3 games. It's unheard of.
Look, Brian Dable won 9 games his first season with the Giants. He's won 9 games after that. The Giants have won only 1 game in their last 15 games. I know I said on this show weeks before that I think Dart, just the drafting of Dart, was going to save Dable and Shane at least 1 more year. I don't think that's the case anymore. You got to start Dart now, and we need to see things. It's going to get harder this weekend because we have the Chargers. But we need to see Dart. The fans want it. Everybody wants it. Obviously, whoever works, you look at Bob, Papa, and Carl Banks. These guys are being, these are guys that work for the Giants. They're trying to be politically correct, but even they know we need to see Dart. There's no hard feelings to Russell Wilson, but my man, you ain't got it no more. Be a dad, be retired. He's got the face for television. He can articulate his words very well. You could see him. I'd rather see him on NBC than Chris Sims. You know what I mean? So it's just, do that, man. Your life after football is set in stone, and it's time to move on. Move on and have Jaxson Dart, and let Dart, potentially be the guy to horn the ship, steer the car towards the right direction. Because right now the Giants are laughing stock in the NFL, and if it wasn't for this team we're about to discuss, it would be a lot more heat on the Giants. And this team I'm particularly talking about is Dave's favorite, super producer Dave's favorite team to mock. And that's the New York Jets. We're going to get into them right now, guys. This is the Gangrene Report.
The extra point for the lead. You bet Aaron Glenn is happy. He's running a 4.5 right there, Kenny, chasing down Will McDonald for that touchdown. Man, and the Jets trailed 23.
A few moments later.
Bruh.
All right, y'all, this is the Gangrene Report. This is where we cover the Jets, Jets. I'm going to be honest, I don't really think y'all deserve for me to be spelling it out. I'll just say this. I was chucking with my man. When they blocked that kick, look, the Jets obviously lose a heartbreaker to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let me just preface that first. I will give a lot of respect to the Jets that they fought back. That game was ugly. Very ugly. I put it on Red Zone after watching the first quarter. I'm going to be honest, y'all. And then Red Zone showed that the Jets, okay, you get a touchdown. Bam. Make it one possession. Oh, wow. Oh, they're in this game. And then they go and block the field goal kick. And Alan Glenn, right? That's that coach? Aaron Glenn.
Aaron.
He's strutting in the sideline, and I'm strutting with him. Because I'm like, oh, man, the Jets is about to pull it off. And then their defense, which I thought would be something they can hang their hat on coming into the season, let them down. Baker got down that field very, very easy. And Tampa gets the game-winning field goal.
Brother.
Don't be too hard on them. Right.
I'm not going to be hard on them because they actually had a better fight than we did against the Steelers. But the fact is that
we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that.
Like a pig in mud, I revel in this. I love it. And the fact is that the dance makes it even better. That is the 0-3 dance. That is on my way to 0-3 dance is officially going forward. Look, the Jets put up a great fight. You want to see that from your team as we say that they're supposed to improve, and we want to see what's different from last year. Why did you get rid of Salah if you're going to go and have another defensive coordinator coach and do the same thing again? The guys on offense look good considering that you didn't have Justin Fields out there. You had Tyrod Taylor looking really good. You had Garrett Wilson putting out numbers. Breece Hall did serviceable. You saw things that you want to see from the Jets that make you win games, and especially when you hang your hat on the defense and special teams. And shout out to special teams in general across the league, because special teams had a great day throughout the league yesterday.
Yeah.
But you know the special teams put up something where you saw a fight, you block the kick, you get that touchdown, and then you see, damn, the Jets do it again. If you're a Jets fan, for me, I loved it. But if you're a Jets fan, you're like, damn, they did it again. They let them get in a position where they can score. And you had, you didn't have Mike Evans to worry about half of that game, but Mbuka is looking like the Mike Evans 2.0.
He's
Jets fans,
like he's gonna get the torch. He's gonna get the torch and be the number one guy there.
I think you guys are there to compete with the Bills, right? You guys made Josh Allen look human last week. But you guys don't have the right coaching, I think, that gets you there. And that's where I'm going to leave it at.
And it's funny that you said that because this is where I want to lead into. I know this was a tough loss for the Jets. But they could easily have been 2-1 right now. They blew the Steelers game. and they could have won this game. I'll eliminate the Bills. 2-1. And I'm looking at their schedule, and it doesn't tell me that they can't bounce back. They got Miami. Dallas right now is not looking like an automatic loss. I'm sorry. They got Miami and Miami. That's a winnable game for the Jets. Dallas at home, winnable game for the Jets. Mind you, Dallas is not going to have CeeDee Lamb. He's out minimum 2 weeks. Their defense is horrendous. We saw what they did against Chicago. Then you have Denver. I think Denver will be a tough one. But then you get Carolina, and then you get Cincy, and then you get Cleveland. No offense. Then they got you guys. This is a stretch where, now we said that, I know I said this. Week 1 I was hyped up, and then week 2 they cropped the bed. But given their schedule, if they can play with this amount of dog, because they played them some dog in them on Sunday, and it may not be so bad, not as compared to the Giants, because the Giants' schedule is rough. But the Jets, I feel like their games are a toss-up. I wouldn't say they're wins, they're toss-ups. And in that case, you'll sign up for that if you're a Jets fan.
From this fate forward, the Jets can easily be 3 weeks from now 3-3. They can easily be 3-3.
Yeah, I
You're
agree.
playing Miami. You're playing Miami, which you can win against.
That's
You're playing against Dallas.
That's going to be the McDaniel fire game. He loses that, he's out. I don't even think that's up for debate.
You have, like you said, you have. Jesus Christ, why am I drawing a blank? I just looked at the schedule. Dallas. You have Dallas. And Dallas can be had. You see that CeeDee Lamb may not be available, so you just got to focus on Pickens. And you put Sauce Gardner on Pickens, and I think that's just a nightmare for Pickens. He's going to end up fighting him, if I'm not mistaken. And then you guys travel to the UK to play that game against Denver. So that's a 9:30 game. So you guys are not playing on the road. Essentially, you're both playing on the road. So you can win that game as well. And Denver has shown that Denver has shown that they can, they can be had as well. They're not they're not as good as people thought they would be this year, and that's probably because of the Chargers looking that good, and as well as KC just being KC. You have a chance to do that, but will you do that? I don't know, because you guys have shown that you can slip. And look, Miami's shown that they can also put up a fight too if they want to. It's just maybe a little too many concussions is having him see extra receivers that are out there than he doesn't see, that are not actually out there.
That's going to be the interesting part. This is their game. I think this is their game to come into Miami and take it. I know they're going to get Justin Fields back. Tyrod didn't look that bad, and Tyrod is. I think that's why he's been able to be in the league for so long. He's just a great, serviceable backup. I would say he's one of the best backups in the game. So they get Fields back. I think they got a shot. Brees looked better. Garrett Wilson is, I think, having a phenomenal stretch of games so far to start the season, especially considering who's throwing him the football. Aaron Glenn, I did like that he just shows he has personality, and you can tell he wanted that game bad. Now, did he celebrate a little prematurely? Yes, he did. Hey, man, when you got your ass kicked the week before and your team battles back and grabs the lead for that split second, I can't be mad at that. But let's see how it goes. I know I'm not rooting for the Dolphins, so I'll be rooting for the Jets. And who would you be rooting for? I guess it doesn't matter, right?
I'm hoping Bane shows up.
I get what that means. You want to roll the clip? Oh, dude. Didn't I say that one time? I'm like, man, can Bane just show
Eagles,
up?
Cowboys? Yeah,
It was
Eagles, Cowboys.
right? Yeah. Yeah, it was Eagles. And I got something I want to talk about when it comes to the Eagles. And I'm going to do that right now on Water Cooler Talk. water cooler talk. This is where we have the talk around the water cooler. We talk about what's going on in sports, and right now, what's going on in sports is the National Football League. I don't think there's anything bigger than that right now. And brother, I kind of teased that, so I want to talk about the Eagles. And the Eagles went against the Rams over the weekend, and that game, I had picked the Rams. I know I picked the Rams. I felt the Rams had the defense. I felt the Rams had enough to even beat Philly at Philadelphia. And I was looking like Albert Einstein in that first half. Jalen Hurts wasn't throwing the ball. I don't believe A.J. Brown had a reception in the first half. The Rams were straight dominating. Puka was just getting it wherever. Kyron Williams just doing what he got to do. And then the Eagles hit the switch, right? And Jalen Hurts is out here hitting Smith, hitting A.J. Brown, hitting Goddard. Next thing you know, they come back, obviously, the amazing kick, field goal block to win the game, to keep their lead because they were up at the time. This Eagle team showed me something. Obviously, the knock on the Eagles, especially this year, was Jalen Hurts and not being able to air out the ball. And our thing was, win by any means necessary. I think what the Eagles proved, and I hate saying this, is that they can win all types of games. They can win the muddy games. They can, hey, you wanna go air it out? We can win those kind of games. And although I'm not steering away from my pick, my early Super Bowl pick, although I've done that already once, but I'm not going off the Packers. This Eagles team has shown that they are the cream of the crop when it comes to the NFC. But I do think, as Damian Woody said on one of them ESPN shows, they use the same guys 5 damn different shows. But what he said was, okay, the Eagles may run the block, but the Rams, they on it. They on the block, though. And they want the smoke. And I think that's a team that we should be looking out for as a threat, along with Detroit. This is no particular order. Detroit and Green Bay. That you got to look at this Rams team as a legit threat to the Eagles.
No, and I think what the Rams offense wasn't they looked good, right? But they weren't on their A game. Puka wasn't killing.
Right. Yeah.
Devontae Adams, they were being a lot of missed balls that were thrown that way, and maybe kudos to the Eagles defense for that, but at the end of the day, they weren't on their A game on that one. So they showed that the Eagles can be had, but the fact is that, like you said, the Eagles just are they've reached that status where they found a way to win games, and they did, like you said, win by any means necessary. It doesn't have to be sexy, and it doesn't have to be grit every time either. It's just win. It doesn't matter how they get it done, and they clearly have shown that they're going to do that. The Rams are still going to be a problem on that side, and there's nobody, I think, who's really going to compete with them. The 49ers are floundering, and then the Cardinals.
I think they're a product of their competition. I would say that.
Right. So they have a shot to come away with this. Maybe the Seahawks. The Seahawks are probably the greatest challenge for the Rams. The way that they looked on
in that
defense
division.
as well.
You're talking in the division.
Yeah, that division. But look, the Eagles are going to still be a problem. I don't have their schedule right in front of me, but they're going to have some tough games as well. Unfortunately, we thought that those games were going to be up.
Bills. I know they're going to be playing the Bills in a few weeks. That's going to be great.
Actually, I'm pulling it up right now. I literally just...
Yeah, but as you do that, let me just pivot to it. Oh, go ahead. You got it? Go ahead,
they got Tampa Bay. They got Denver. Then they got you guys. Then they got Minnesota. Then they got you guys again. So, I'm sorry.
Well, they could go... Ones. They got some tough ones. But very winnable games. Very, 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 very winnable games. I want to pivot to this because we talked about them being the top in the AFC. And I know, in the NFC, the AFC got some top teams. Obviously, the Bills, you have the Bills, you got Baltimore. This is the team that I've been raving about since the beginning of the season. They were my pick to win the AFC West. And the more and more they play, the more and more I have the belief that this team right now, after week 3, is the best team in the AFC. Not the AFC West, but the AFC. And that's the LA Chargers. This team, although they lost Khalil Mack, this team And they lost Najee Harris. Praise to Najee Harris, who tore his Achilles. He's going to be out for the rest of the year. This team is so balanced. They played Denver even keeled. I don't know if it's Herbert's personal life that's making him ball out right now, but they're well coached, they're well balanced, and they have a great chance of getting to 4-0 because they're gonna play the Giants. And this is a team that I feel like doesn't get talked about because you have the sexy Ravens and you have the Bills. But I think now you can put the Chargers there because I'm gonna be honest. Looking at the Chiefs, bro, I think their run is officially cooked. Now I get it; they're without some key offensive guys, but I don't think that team is good enough to compete with the Bills, with the Ravens, and the Chargers. I don't think the Chiefs are able to compete with them. I just don't see it.
No, the Chiefs, like we've been preaching, I think since week one, they need to get a playmaker. And at the end of the day, Tyquan Thornton can only get you so far. Rashid Rice's of the world can only get you far. Hollywood Brown can only get you so far. Juju Smith-Schuster, like you hear the names I'm saying,
Bro, he
like
is
these
so
are
trash. I know you always hated him.
yeah.
I'm watching him on Sunday. I'm like, dude, you make like one catch every 6 games and you get hyped.
And one of them may be a touchdown, but you know, at the end of the day, like. The Chiefs need to get a playmaker. Kelsey's already old. We already seen that as well.
Yeah, he's showing
so, and then he's arguing with his coach on the sideline, and that's a toxic looking relationship. I think he found out that he wasn't going to get a nice table at the wedding. I don't know, man. Like the Chiefs have to make a run. Like don't let Patrick Mahomes' years fade away. And I'm not saying like he's an old man. What I'm saying is right now Patrick Mahomes should be in his prime right now, right? These are the years that most quarterbacks really like flourish. But you're wasting it with the talent that you're surrounding with him. Like, and maybe that's the cost of winning championships. You got to lose somewhere, and it looks like it's happening now.
And it looks like the decline it looks like it's happening now. Because you just don't see it. Like, the offensive line is not the greatest. They don't do good against great pass rushing teams. And they don't have enough playmaking. Isaiah Pacheco is healthy, and he's not even running the ball well. I just don't think they have the heart of a champion. So no one will ever count them out, but I think it's time to have that conversation that their run is over, and I think they have to revamp it, retool it, as you mentioned, brother. Those Patriot teams from when they won in the beginning were not the same from their run. You know, they evolved. They you know what I mean? They changed, and I think that's what this Chiefs team needs to do to win. Before we wrap up with this segment, I do want to talk about the Green Bay Packers because they were my pick. They're my pick to get out the NFC, brother. But they really, really dropped a stinker. I'm not gonna kind of panic. But they lost to the Browns in a game where they had no business losing to. No business losing to the Browns. Shout out to the Browns. They have a very good defense. The Browns have the defense that I wish the Giants had. Their pass rushing has been phenomenal. It's kind of what I hoped the Giants were going to be getting. But I'm not worried about the Packers, but I do think games like that can hurt them. They're lucky that Minnesota doesn't have a quarterback. Detroit will threaten them. I'm just saying that could be a game to haunt them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And especially when we're looking at teams like the Eagles where we're going, I don't see a loss in their schedule. You know what I mean? That might come back to bite Green Bay in the ass when it comes to playoff positioning. Not saying the division, not saying anything, but when it comes to the positioning of, I need David Montgomery to damn score. He is killing it right now, brother. I don't know if you're looking at it. But as of this recording, guys, we are watching the Lions and Ravens, which could be a Super Bowl preview. But that's what I'm saying, brother. I think that game, it's not a big deal now, week 3, but that's one of the games that I feel like you can look back at the end of the season and go, well, the NFC Championship is not being played in Lambeau. It's at the Link because of that game they lost.
Yeah. You know what the Packers did like it also goes back to something we brought up last week. Who is their receiver? Like, yeah, Tucker Kraft looks great, and he got hurt, so I expected the game that he had this game. Like, I didn't expect him to do great. But who is their guy? Who is the guy that's gonna be like, you know what, Jordan Love knows who's to throw to. We know that sometimes that can benefit a quarterback because now you don't have somebody to zero in when the defense opposing you is planning for you. We get where that helps, but you also see where it's just like, I don't know who to throw it to. And I get it, like the Browns defense did look good compared to the prior defenses they played, but I don't know. Like, I think it's also one of those situations where the Browns had nothing to play for. Like, at this point, like, they know where their season is. They just F it. Let me sack the quarterback.
They got a real good defense, man, and what they were able to do was very impressive. Very impressive. But I think, like as you touched on, brother, that's going to be the part where, I got so caught up in their defense that you look at their offense and who is going to be that guy. It's the same questions that we posed with Kansas City. Who's going to be that guy? Because in the playoffs, you're gonna need guys. Look how KC played the Giants. You're gonna need multiple guys. They made sure they forced the Giants to use Wan'Dale Robinson, Darius Slayton to use those guys because they were not going to let neighbors beat them. And I think Green Bay is going to run into that problem. I think their defense is going to be good enough because their defense can create points. However, that was a game that they shouldn't have let slip because that's a game that you look back at and you go, damn, we had it and we let it go.
Can I say something real quick before we move on?
Let's talk about your boys. Matter of fact, let's talk about your boys. I want to talk about
Hold
your
on,
boys.
quick pause on that real quick. When it comes to when we say that who's going to be that guy, we don't always mean the who's going to be the neighbors, the St. Browns of the world, the Justin Jeffersons, the Chase. We're talking about the one that the quarterback knows that I'm going to be able to count on you to get the ball. You're the Edelman. You're the, what was this guy when he was great in New Orleans? Slant boy. Michael Thomas. Like, who's going to be my guy that I know that's going to get, like, I can throw the ball to and we're going to get a first down when I need it. I know who's going to, you're going to run your route. That's what I'm talking about when who's going to be their guy. The Lad McConkey of last year. Like, that's what we're saying when we say who's going to be your guy. It doesn't have to be the sexy numbers of Chase Jeffersons of the world.
No, 100%. I saw a clip on the Bill Simmons show. He was talking to some guy. I'm assuming he follows the Patriots. I don't know his name. But are there nicknames out for Drake May?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, so Bill Simmons said he's thinking, they're looking up a nickname. And the guy said, he said, well, I don't have a nickname for Drake May, but if I did, it would be Drake Maybe? Because he's like, maybe he'll have a good game. Maybe he won't have a good game. I'll say this. As I said with and Montgomery just scored a touchdown. As I said about the Jets, y'all could have easily been 3-0, brother. Y'all could have easily been 3-0.
We could have.
You handed the game to the Raiders. You get the win in Miami. And then this Pittsburgh game was atrocious, bro. The fumbles, ridiculous. The end zone fumbles at the end zone. Stevenson's fumble the end zone.
Brother, I don't know.
I know Dave's pulling his hair out right now.
Clearly, it's gone. Brother, I don't know. Like, and this is one of the things that Stevenson was having last year. He was already having this issue before. And this is one of those things where, all right, you see the things that are happening. You already fumbled twice. And then we get put in Gibson, and Gibson fumbles, and it's just like, well, just put in the rookie at this point. Let's see, he can't be any worse, right? You have guys that you have on that squad that we're not seeing. You picked up Chisholm, you've signed him to the roster, we're not seeing him on the field. I don't know, like, there was a couple of plays where I didn't see Diggs out there, and I'm just like, where is he? Like,
yeah, and Diggs right now is, I got him in fantasy, and I know that it's not going as well. But what do you think with you guys? How are you feeling towards them 3 weeks in? Because we got some Patriot fans that listen to this show, so they definitely
of course. I don't know how much of an improvement this is over last year, and that obviously you were supposed to see something. Look, the benefit of next week is that we play.
Are you saying in coaching, like in the difference between Mayo and Vrabel?
Mayo and Vrabel. That's what I'm saying. Like, what is the difference, and what did you bring in? You brought on only Stephon Diggs as far as that. The defense looks great. But then it's just everything else looks all right, you got Carolina next week, but then you play Buffalo the week after. So it's just like, all right, then the schedule gets New Orleans, Tennessee, and Cleveland. Games that you can have because those are not great teams on those end besides Buffalo. But you're showing me that you can't even win the games that we should win. The Steelers should have not won that game.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. I agree 100%. This is why I think the Steelers are
They're fool's gold
as well. They're
fool's
2-1,
gold.
but they should easily be 0-3. But let's rev it up, brother. Let's pivot. Let's change to another sport, because right now both our New York teams are in the middle of their final week in the regular season, and we got to talk about it because there's big playoff implications involved. Let's get into y'all. This is the Subway Series. Central. Hit it.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
All right, y'all. This is the Subway Series Central. This is where we're covering both our baseball teams, the Yankees and the Mets, and both our teams, brother, are right now in the middle of this episode airing. They are in the middle of the week of their final week of the season, and I want to talk about the Yankees first because the Yankees are in a groove. Now I know all people can question the level of competition of who they're playing, but they're on a groove right now. They get into pitching, and right now, as of this recording, we record Monday nights. The Yankees are 2 games out of the American League division, which I said I don't think the Yankees were going to get them. The Yankees were able to manage 3 games from the time I said that. Now the Yankees technically need to get 3 games. They don't have the tiebreaker against the Blue Jays. But right now, we need Boston to be our good friends. I love when sports work like that, brother. When sports work where it's going to make you sometimes root for teams you don't want to root for. And right now, the Red Sox are in a series with the Blue Jays. And the Red Sox have something to play for, too, because they're playing for the wild card as well. They would like to get the top spot on the wild card, or either just stay where they are right now. So they got something to play for. But I think I talked about the Yankees first because I felt like the Yankees are more of a lock than the Mets. The Yankees is just a question of, are they going to be able to get the division? I don't think that the Yankees are going to implode this week, considering they are home against the White Sox and the Orioles. I just don't see the Yankees imploding where they're going to miss the playoffs. So I think the question really lies more with, can they obtain the division? Do we want them to win the division? Or do we want them, the hell with it, run the gauntlet, get in the wild card? But I just think that the Yankees have a better chance at the playoffs than the other boys and queens right now.
Bro, at the time of this recording, the Yankees are 2 games behind from that first place spot. So, can this be had? Absolutely. Can the Red Sox do us a favor and maybe get us there as well? Because right now, if I'm not mistaken, they are also in the contention for the wild card, if I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah,
so,
I think they're 2.5 behind us.
So you're only improving your odds, like if you win these games. So you definitely have the Red Sox have something to play for, and they're just not playing spoiler maker like maybe a team is playing on the NL right now for our boys in the Queens. But the Yankees have to just keep it going, because at the end of the day, you don't want to have to just rely on, well, let's see if the Red Sox give us a favor there. You want to make sure that you win your games. You have to make sure that you show why you should be in the playoffs, because you've shown us this year, like, yes, there's a good fight. You guys won 80 games. Great. Can you show us a real fight, though? When it comes to it, because you're playing the best of the best. That's what we want to see.
Yeah. And pivoting to the Mets. Doing the Ozone, covering the Mets. This is the most Mets I've ever watched in my lifetime. I've watched Met games, but brother, I would like to think that out of the 162 games that they've played, I think I've watched, real talk, maybe about 120. That's a lot of Met games I've watched this year. So I've watched where I said, man, they're the best team. I think they're a better team than the Yankees, and I thought, they're a clear cut favorite to make it to the World Series. And then I've watched this team as all the Met fans, diehard Met fans have, and you look at this team and you go, the things that went well didn't go. Everything that hit for them last year is not hitting. You know, you look at Sean Manaea. Sean Manaea had an incredible year with them last year. They brought him in injury plagued in the beginning, and he just hasn't been the guy he was last year. You know, Griffin Canning started off good in the beginning of the year. He gets hurt. You know what I mean? And you brought in Frankie Montas thinking he can be what Severino was last year. That didn't work out. You bring Clay Holmes in. You convert, you know, he's a two-time, although he blew games for the Yankees, he's a closer. You converted him to a starter. The guy can't go more than 5 innings. Now, you do have the young pitching, but then you make bullpen changes, and that has not panned out for them, unfortunately. Cedric Mullins has not been playing well since they acquired him for Baltimore. This team right now sits out of a playoff positioning as of this recording. Remember, guys, if they finish with the same records with the Reds have the tiebreaker. The Mets do not own the tiebreaker against any team. So the Mets have to finish a game better than the Reds. And their schedule's tough. They're 3 games against Chicago. Although Chicago has clinched a playoff spot, and I don't think they can get the division, they don't want to play spoiler. Yeah. And then you already heard that the news came out Monday that the Miami Marlins are pushing back Sandy Alcantara so that he can be scheduled to pitch against the Mets over the weekend. I might go to the last game of the year, depending, brother, how things are falling out. If the Mets need, I might go to Miami for Sunday, depending on the severity and the details of the game. I'll let you know. But I am not confident that the Mets will make the playoffs. And if that ends up being the case, brother, this might be. I know you got 2007. I know there's other years where the Mets have imploded. This might be the worst in our lifetime as far as how Mets season goes. From the ultimate high of signing Juan Soto to Met fans throwing it in Yankee fans' face that we are the best team, we are the head honchos, we are the big brother, we are this team. From everything, the swagger, you know what I mean? They had their highest attendance gate of in Citi Field history this past year, and then to not make the playoffs. I know Wells said on the group chat he'll rather have them not in the playoffs to get the misery out early. But you thinking more temporary, bro. You're thinking about that now. You guys don't make the playoffs. Don't blur this out, brother. This shit gonna be talked about for a long time. Because y'all made a big fuss. And this is the Yankee now fan talking. Y'all made a big fuss. Y'all threw a parade with Juan Soto and all this. And to not make the playoffs is crazy. Go ahead, brother.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, the Mets fans Mets fans did it to themselves. When it comes to this whole thing, Mets fans did it to themselves. And at the end of the day, you're eating a lot of foot. That's what you're eating. Not even crow. You're eating foot. There's a lot of foot in your mouth. And this is me talking as somebody who has converted to being a Mets fan as of this year. This is a person who's now rooting for the Mets. And I say it's funny when you say that.
And I do, too. I want the Mets to be in the playoffs. I do.
But they did no favors for themselves. The Mets fans. Now, when we come back to the team, look, you did so many things, and you don't want to lose and not make the playoffs. And, we're like, there's a lot to improve on from last year. No, you guys should have been in the playoffs. You guys were making fun of the Yankees for not winning a game. They only won 1 game against the Dodgers in the play. We got swept. My bad. In the World Series, so you guys won 2 games or whatever the hell it was.
We won 1, they won 2. They made a big deal that they won 1 more game than us.
Right. So you guys won 1 more game, and guess what? You guys aren't even going to make it this year, possibly. So the Mets have to they have to win these games out. That's number one. Yeah. You can't. I don't think you go home early, because at the end of the day, this is one of those implosions that will be talked about because of all the money that was spent, the money that was spent. And I say that 3 times because at the end of the day, there were things that you guys could have addressed instead of getting a Juan Soto. It's the same thing. It would have been reversed. If it was the Yankees, we got Juan Soto, we paid him all that money, and we didn't make it. that same story. But unfortunately, it's the Mets who are the ones that are now the victims of that kind of storytelling. And you have a lot of things to address. Do you have that cap room going forward to do that? You have you have to win. You just have to win. You lose in the playoffs, you lose in the playoffs. But you don't make the playoffs, I think it's worse.
No, 100%. And hopefully they get there. You know, we're not sure, and I think it depends on what's the seeding. If the Yankees and Mets both get the wild card, I think their playoffs will start next Tuesday. So this is where, guys, it's important, y'all, to follow the Ozone on all our social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, and Threads, because we're going to be updating y'all with the schedule of when the Yankees and Mets play. All right, so it's very important for that, because by the time Dave and I have next week's episode, both teams may be in the middle of their wild card battle with their teams. But, brother, let's get into my favorite part of the show, and that's NFL Picks of the Week. All right, y'all, this is NFL Picks of the Week. This is where Dave and I are going to be making predictions for the upcoming games for Week 4 of the NFL. Brother, can you pop up the score? All right. Brother, you can see it's tight. It's a tight one. You know what I mean? It's going to be interesting. It's going to go down to the wire. It's going to end at the season, right? We're not doing playoffs. The bet will end at the season.
End of the season, and it's cool to cash in that public sub in the playoffs.
Cash in the public sub in a case of brews.
Your choice of whatever you want, whether it's truly, brew,
yeah. Well, we'll figure that out. Out. All right, but let's get into it, brother. We got the first game of Week 4, the Thursday night game, as the Seattle Seahawks take on the Arizona Cardinals. This is going to be. I know I picked Arizona last week against the Chargers. Against the Niners. You kind of let me down on that one. This game is in Arizona. I'm going with Seattle, though. I think that Seattle is the second best team in that division. I think Arizona is more of a product of who they played. And that told me a lot against San Francisco. I thought they should have beaten San Francisco, especially with Mac Jones as their quarterback. So, given all of that, I'm going with Seattle, brother.
I'm going with Seattle in this one. Sam Darnold is showing why the Vikings should have kept him number one. The Seattle team is just better than the Cardinals. The Cardinals have been the benefactors of playing who they played to win those 2 games to start their season, but they're not clicking. They just lost Connor, unfortunately. I don't know how good Benson's going to look. McBride was looking like a civilian yesterday, and then also Marvin Harrison, you dropping the ball. You're supposed to be the second coming of your dad, who was one of the best receivers of all time, and you're just dropping the ball as it hits your hands. I'm sorry. I don't got the Cardinals in this one.
Yeah, prayers to James Conner. James Conner, gruesome leg injury, got surgery. He's going to be out for the season. So prayers go out to James Conner. All right, let's start off with the Sunday's games. And, brother, and I like these. I didn't like them in the beginning, but I like them now. I like waking up to football. We have the Minnesota Vikings going against the Steelers. This game, brother, is in Dublin, so it's a 9:30 a.m. morning game. I am going to go with the Minnesota Vikings. We touched on it earlier in the show that we think Pittsburgh is just not what their record shows. They're not a 2-1 team. Their defense is old. Their quarterback is old. Their team is not that talented. I know Minnesota got Carson Wentz but their defense is still great, and their defense is going to make Aaron Rodgers work. So I think they're going to be good enough. I'm going Minnesota.
I don't think Justin Jefferson goes off in this game because of who you mentioned, Carson Wentz. But at the end of the day, what the Vikings do have is that defense, and that defense is really good. Shout out to Irod. Apparently, that's the name that they're giving him. Isaiah Rodgers, you balled out. I think you're the first player to hit the stats that you're doing right now, because I posted real quick.
They're getting so creative with these Irod.
Yeah, but you had an amazing day, and I think the Vikings defense is just better than the Steelers defense. So yeah, I got Vikings.
100%. Then we got Washington, Atlanta. I don't even care if Jalen Daniels is playing or not. I know who is playing, and that's Michael Penix, so I'm going with Washington.
Okay. You know, brother, I got Washington, but I won't be surprised if Kirk Cousins plays this game. Not starting, but I won't be surprised.
Michael Penix is trash. I'm sorry.
I'm
not whatever. I know they always say don't throw stones living in a glass home, but they were talking about the Giants drafting that kid. Are you crazy? They were talking about the Giants drafting him over Malik Neighbors. Oh, the Giants need a quarterback. They should get Michael. Get out of here. This dude is ass. We're gonna get into another game that's gonna be ass, and brother, we can just pick it because I'm not. Bills Saints. Sorry, Joey. I'm going Bills.
Joey, real quick, I'm going to talk to you, and this is, I'm sorry, fans, because you don't maybe know who Joey is. Joey, you were talking about maybe having to switch your team, and I think this is the game where you convert to the other team. You go and you take off your jersey, and you show that everybody you got a Josh Allen jersey on. This is your chance.
Yep. This is it. Yep.
This is the game. I got Bills.
They are minus 15.5 points. That is the biggest spread of all games this week. Then we got Cleveland and Detroit. I know they say defense, great defenses beat great offenses all the time. However, this game is in Detroit. Cleveland, like you said, feisty defense. They was able to steal one against Green Bay. They're not doing that against Detroit. I got Detroit.
Yeah, I got Detroit as well in this game. I think, well, once again, it's just one of those games that Cleveland's going to get. It was a gimme. Like, they got one game. This one's definitely going to Detroit in this one.
Yeah, and then we have your boys' brother, New England Patriots, as they host the Carolina Panthers. Carolina played really well against Atlanta. Their defense showed out. Bryce Young didn't look that bad. But I don't think you guys are a bad team. I think you guys just make mistakes. And I guess some people can argue that that's what bad teams do. But the talent is there. You guys are at home. I got the Patriots in this one.
I won't be surprised if Henderson's a starting running back in this game.
Yeah.
And I got Patriots winning this one. Stevenson, hold the ball.
Yeah. Then we got my guys, the New York Giants, hosting the Chargers. As much as like I said, as much as I want to go with my guys, and I think this will be the Jaxson Dart game. I'm going to be excited. I will be excited if Jaxson Dart ends up getting the start. However, I think the Chargers are the best team in the AFC, especially in that division. So, unfortunately, I got the Chargers.
And I got the Chargers as well. The only thing that upsets me, and it's more fantasy stuff, did you forget that Lad McConkey exists? Herbert, come on. Like, Keenan Allen comes back, and you just forgot about it.
Hey! Whoa! Pump it, brother. Pump the brakes on that one, guy. Hold on. Because I got Keenan Allen and Herbert on my team. Hold it.
I get it. I have Herbert, too. I have Herbert in I have Herbert, too.
You got McConkey on your team, right?
I got McConkey, so I just would like to see that, if he was your favorite receiver last year, throw the ball to him.
Because his old boo was back. You talked about it, right? You talked about it. And I think Keenan Allen is a perfect example of what you said about Green Bay. At the end of the day, Herbert knows when everything, I can count on this guy. Although McConkey's there too. There's no shade towards McConkey. But Allen and Herbert have been those guys for years, and he got his guy back. Yep. And it's almost like he never left. Brother, this might be the game of the week. There's a few of them, but I think this is one of the three. You got the Eagles in Tampa. This is a tough one. This is a real tough one because I think Tampa can't compete with the Eagles. I need to take the lead. I'm picking Tampa. I'm picking Tampa in this game. Yeah, I'm rolling pretty confident. Right now it's a close one. It's a minus 3.5 favorite for Philly as of this recording. I'm going, but everybody's got to, oh, crap, never mind. I don't think Mike Evans is playing. I don't think Mike Evans is going to play. I'm taking that back. I'm going Philly. I don't think Mike Evans is playing.
Yeah, two 3-0 teams, and I think Mbuka is showing that he made the case so far to be Rookie of the Year. I thought it was going to go to Travis Hunter, but Mbuka is just balling out. And especially with Mike Evans not being there, we already know who's going to be the favorite target, at least in this game. So, with all that being said, I'm still going to go with Eagles. They find a way.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not that confident Mike Evans can't play. That's why. Then we have Tennessee and Houston, and Houston sucks. You know what? I got a stat for you, brother. I saved this for you because I know you've mentioned this a lot. So, since the moment that you said that C.J. Stroud tried a little brother, Caleb Williams, right? C.J.'s numbers since that moment: 19 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. Caleb Williams' numbers since that conversation: 27 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. My man James. Put it like that. Damn, this is like, honestly, man, this is, I'll go with Houston just because Houston's home.
Yeah, I got Houston in this one, and it's just because of who your opponent is. The Titans haven't shown me any reason to pick them in this game. And Stroud, just contain yourself. Don't try to coach up Cam Ward either. You're not that guy. You've shown that you're not that guy.
Oh man, he's gonna do it. Don't let him win. He's gonna do it. Then we got Danny Dimes, man. Danny Dimes and the 3-0 Colts going to LA to face the Rams. Yeah, I think their donut is going into a 1. They're not beating the Rams. I got the Rams in this one.
Yeah, but you know what? I actually got this game looking close. The Rams defense is really good.
Close. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout. No.
Yeah, I got this game going close.
The Rams.
DeAndre Hopkins, man. DeAndre Hopkins. Sorry, he just got a toe tapper.
Yeah.
In this one, yeah, I got the Rams in this one.
Rams.
I think we get back to reality who Daniel Jones is.
Yeah, for sure. Then followed by that, we got Jacksonville, San Fran. I want to go through this one quick, brother. I don't care for this game. Matter of fact, who did you got in this one?
I got Niners in this one. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have any faith in Jacksonville. I'll go Niners. So I'm going to piggyback off you. That's the only one I'm going to probably copy the whole way. Probably that because, I just don't have faith in them. Let's get into a big one here. We got Baltimore and KC. That's the 4:30 game. This game is at KC. I'm going Chiefs. Although all the stuff I said about them, I'm going to go to Chiefs as an Arrowhead. I'm going with Chiefs. I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
Okay. I'm going to go with the Ravens in this one. And the reason I'm going with them is while I know that the Chiefs their championship pedigree is there, they're at Arrowhead and that place is loud.
Yeah.
I think that, Lamar and Derrick Henry just shut that crowd out and just show them why they're one of the best and favorites to come out.
And it's very possible that they can do that. But I think Kansas City are going to ride off the high of the win. The crowd's going to be excited. I think they find a way. I don't think those games are never blowouts. And I just think, who do I trust more with the ball in a late game situation? Although Lamar is a future Hall of Famer, MVP, but I'm gonna go with the multiple time Super Bowl champ in that situation. We'll move on now to the Bears and the Raiders. The Bears had a great win against the Dallas Cowboys last week, and the Ravens have been kind of a letdown. I didn't expect high things of them, but I thought they would be playing a lot better considering they have some level of competency at the quarterback position. But I don't know if the Bears can duplicate their performance that they did against the Cowboys. So I'm going to go with the Raiders. I'm going to take the Raiders on this one.
In this one, I got Chicago. Winning this one. Raiders defense is actually pretty good. So I expect this to be like one of those games that they don't run away, but the Bears win this one.
Yeah, I need Bowers to cook a little bit though. Bowers has been really slow, and I picked him in the second round. He should be stepping up. Then we got the Sunday night game. This is the return of Micah Parsons to Dallas. Easy one for me. Green Bay. Not even close. I think this is going to be a blowout. I think this is going to be real. I think this is going to look like very similar to the playoff game a few years back. I think Green Bay is going to be able to just show their dominance on the defense, and then we've all seen Dallas defense. They can't guard anyone. I think that'll be the game Josh Jacobs actually explodes. Guys are going to be, Tucker Kraft. You got Tucker Kraft, start him. Yeah, I got Green Bay. I don't think this game is going to be close. They're a -6.5. I think they easily cover that. Easily.
Because it's the Cowboys, that's the only reason I feel like this game has not been flexed, because this game should be a 4 o'clock game, if anything. I got Green Bay in this one. I'm looking forward to showing Micah Parsons sacking Dak Prescott maybe two to three times, and each time panning over to Jerry Jones.
Yeah. Right, that's going to happen.
Yep.
That is going to happen. NBC is petty like that. They'll do that. And then we wrap it up, brother, with arguably the worst Monday night games you can possibly have. It's a doubleheader, the first one being the Jets at Miami. I'm taking the Jets. I think the Jets get their first win. I think this is the game where the Dolphins finally pull the plug on McDaniel, and they fire him. I'm going to Jets. I got the Jets in this one.
Yeah, Jets.
Jets? Ooh, Jets. All right, then we wrap up week 4. This is an 8:15 game. Wow. All right, good, because that 10 o'clock they did a couple weeks ago was not fun. Bengals in Denver. As much as I like those guys, as much as I want Chase Brown to perform well, I got a few guys in this game. I'm going with Denver. I'm going to take the better defense. Browning didn't look good against Minnesota. Denver's defense is just as menacing as Denver, if you can argue maybe even more. So I think he's going to have a tough time there. So I'm going with the Broncos.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I'm going to go with Denver. Chase is going to be covered by Surtain. Browning already shows that he's going to cough the ball up a few times. And the Denver defense is actually the real deal. And it's not even a credit to their offense. It's more so that defense is good.
Yeah, real deal. You said it. It's definitely the real deal. But brother, that's gonna do it for us. But we cannot end an episode without sharing you guys the highlight of the week.
He's on fire!
All right, y'all. So highlight of the week goes out to Met fans. Cover your ears, close your eyes, because it's going to center fielder Jacob Young, who made not one, with 2 phenomenal catches in what could be the final game in Citi Field for the 2025 Mets. First of all, brother, that first catch, this guy bounces, he catches it, bounces off the wall, bounces off his glove, hits his foot. It's almost like he was in the Savannah Bananas, and they ruled it out initially. I'm like, no, he popped. That wasn't out once he came off his foot. That was already like, okay, hocus pocus. Clyde, he's spinning and winning. This, you know what I mean? Doing all of that. And then he goes and tells himself, hold my beer, because in the 9th inning, they're up 3-2. Francisco Alvarez thinks he's going to get the game-tying home run. He goes out and snags it and robs a homer, putting the Met fans in shock as that helped keep their 3-2 lead. They won 2 out of 3 against the Mets over the weekend. And, Jacob Young, welcome. You are a recipient of the highlight of the week, bro.
Yeah, winning and grinning, and unfortunately...
winning and grinning,
unfortunately,
sure.
Mets fans, and especially Wells, who hates Clyde, this is what you guys got to see. Put up better games, please.
Yeah, and just how fitting is that? That could have been the last game of the year in Citi Field. Before we wrap up, guys, shout out to the New York Liberty. Unfortunately, they were dethroned by the Phoenix Mercury this over the weekend. I wanted to highlight Breanna Stewart. A lot of sports fans, they don't like to acknowledge women's sports, and they don't understand that these women are tough. Breanna Stewart sprained her MCL in Game 1 and continued in the series, and then the deciding Game 3 dropped 30 points, kept her team in it, while, Jonquel Jones didn't have such a strong game. Sabrina Ionescu played well, but the fact that she was hobbling on one leg and dropped 30 easy. Put some respect to these women that are kicking ass and that are doing the same thing that these men athletes are doing. They put their bodies on the line because they love what they do. And Breanna Stewart, you've always had my respect, but you got my respect even more, and I'm just beyond ecstatic that you play for the city I'm from and the city that I like to represent. So shout out to Breanna Stewart, and I know the Liberty will be back next year to get our title. But guys, follow us, y'all. Follow us, guys. We're on 157 subscribers, y'all. I want to get to 200. Let's get to 200, and you guys can make it happen. You guys can make it happen by following us on our platform. One, like, share this video, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We apologize for the little hiccup that we had last week. That was more on YouTube's end. YouTube, get it together, all right? Get it together, all right? But guys, like and subscribe. Be sure to follow us on all our platforms. We are available on Instagram. We're available on Threads. We're available on TikTok, Twitter, and Reddit. Damn, I had it right the first time. But guys, make sure to follow us on all those platforms. We're available on all of that. Brother, before we wrap up, WrestlePalooza. Trash. WrestlePalooza trash.
ESPN's own reporter gave it a C.
Gave it a C.
And out of ABC, so we make it clear, a C.
A C. That is that's like a 70, right? Like a 70 score. Yeah, right. Your own network.
It's been a while.
That paid billions of dollars for it gave you a C for something that was supposed to be good. Shout out to AEW. They had a great show. All Out was good. It was a good show because we go all out as well. And you got anything to say before we wrap up, brother?
Shout out to our new women's champ, Stephanie Vaquer, one of my faves. Get it.
Oh, yeah. That was the only highlight of the show.
Yeah.
That was the only highlight of the show. We got boring ass Cody Rhodes, and we got Mr. HR himself, Brock Lesnar.
And it turns out that they're not going to fight again this rest of the year, so John Cena got squashed for nothing.
You know what? I can't wait for our Survivor Series show because I think it's going to be really good. There's so much to talk about when it comes to wrestling. But we'll get to that when we get to that. But, guys, we look forward to, keeping up with you guys next week. Have a good week. We got a big weekend in sports. Let's go Yankees. Let's go Mets. Let's wrap it up. Let's do what we got to do. And let's start Jaxson Dart, baby. See you next week when we be delivering that fire. Peace.
Bridges to the streets, uptown blackout, season 2, ozone, NY heat, no doubt. This is the ozone, season 2, New York, forever drills, catch the vibe.